All right, thank you very much for checking out. You're here with Kane and Anthony on Villaination Radio. Don't ask me what the was, so it was just that. But yeah, we were, I don't know, man, we were talking about 1,000 things. But I think one of the main things I really hate, man, is alright, so let's say Diablo, right? You play Diablo, you grind out, you get stuff for it. You know, you feel good about it. And that's why I love Diablo, because it's a constant grinding session and you find shit. But for me, Destiny just slaps you in the balls. Like, I mean, you spend 5 hours on a game and you watch all these fucking Randy Jacksons, like, get all these prizes. Like, you've got all these kids. You're doing the most in the party. Like, you're just going crazy. And they give you some fucking goat cheese and shit. Like, what the fuck is that? You know? And this rando down at the bottom gets some fucking legendary shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's the reason why, like, I just deleted it, because it feels like they just beat the shit out of, like, their players. Like, what are you gonna do?
It's one of those games that it's not very rewarding, and this actually brings me up to a good point that I want to touch a little bit upon later, where they had to redo a lot of things, and this isn't confirmed completely yet by Bungie, but they had to actually redo most of the game. And I said this, a lot of people have said this, and I cut them a little bit of slack because of that, because there's really good points to the game, and I really do agree that it is a grind, and it is a bit ridiculous. And comparing it to games like other RPGs like Diablo and World of Warcraft, where you get weapons every,
right,
every 5 seconds. You don't have to grind out, and then they give you a weapon that you can't even use, and then you have to sell it for materials to upgrade your more powerful weapons.
Right.
It is a slap in the face, where instead of having to kind of grind them down, and they take out the lower weapons when you reach a higher level. How about they do that, they take out the lower weapons, you reach a higher level, and you can either buy the things with Glimmer, since they're pretty much useless anyways, to put it on your higher weapons to level them up. And that would be a more effective way, instead of slapping people in the face and saying, hey, here's a green or here's a white, like, drop.
Or how about you just come up with a fucking trading system? Hey, I'm a hunter. I don't need this shit. You're a warlock. Here you go, motherfucker. You know, it's an even exchange. Even if you have to, like, make it to where there's some kind of penalty to it. You know, just make it to the point where, you know, like, an interchangeable trading system in that game makes so much sense to me, because of all the bullshit drops you get. Like, you should be able to say, hey, here, you're a lower level guy. Hey, here's some weapons, dude. I don't even need them. There you go. That's for your class. You use those or something. And then he's like, oh, okay, here's some fucking whatever, you know?
Well, at the end of the day, yeah, it's all good and well. But it's Bungie. They had so little to work with right now that they tried to cram, like, so much game into so little content, and this has been talked about a lot. It's been almost talked about to death. I'm reluctant to even touch upon it, just because everybody's got my own. Yeah. I mean, but I got my opinion. I want it to be heard.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it is their game. People don't like it. They shut it off. Like, you deleted it. I was at the point of deleting it months ago, until the DLC came out, and I started actually liking it a lot more. So that brought some life into the game. So I really do have some hope for the future. But right now, it's one of those games that's just very
frustrating.
It's fun. But it's frustrating, but it's a lot better than all the other games that are out right now. You have But for the most part, I mean, you have the bug-filled Assassin's Creed that still is really, really buggy and slow, and I mean, it's fun, but it's still.
Dude, I was fucking running down the
opinion,
street
and I
yesterday,
love,
man. In that fucking game, I was running down the goddamn street. My character was stuck inside of a fucking bush, like. He was fucking donkey running inside of a fucking bush, and then he like glitched out, and he. I get you. The first time, I actually have a video on my YouTube if you've seen it yet. It's like the first couple of days I was playing the game, I said, I haven't ran into any of these glitches. I don't know what the hell people are talking about. Sure, the frame rate's a little bit laggy in some points, but it's not horrible. I mean, it's not really... Every single Assassin's Creed that I have played hasn't ran at 30 frames a second, minus, I think, maybe... Assassin's Creed 2 ran really good. It ran good, but you still had, like, texture pops and shit.
Brotherhood, texture pops.
Yeah, Rubber Band, for sure.
Rubber Band. Yeah, but Brotherhood ran decently, and then Revelations came out and ran like shit. So I said, well, you have all these people talking shit about this game, and I said, okay, well, let me try it out. Bought it. First couple days, I'm running fine, a little bit of lag here and there. Okay, fine. Multiplayer, I got on fine, played with Jordan, no big deal. Then all of a sudden, I'm running along a building. I jump down and I fall through the floor, and I'm like, "Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yep,
I'm done."
That's what I said. I was fucking sitting there, and I'm like playing it, and I'm giving it compliments. I'm like, "Oh man, it looks good," and then it's just, he's fucking went up to the Eagle Vision. It kind of swung around, and I noticed that the frame rate was moving faster than would on any other like console. So I'm like, "That's nice." And then at that same second is when it fucking started glitching, donkey running in the bush shit. Like, what the fuck is that?
That's exactly my experience. And you have like, and that's I think that's why people are drawn to this game right now, because it is such a unique game. It's nothing really has been kind of made like this before. Exactly like this. I mean,
right.
Different areas, yes, but right now you have the crew. In my opinion, that was so overly hyped. It came out, it was a disappointment.
Oh my God!
It was really nothing in there. It was nothing really like they said, but they wanted it to be an online experience, just like Destiny is an online experience, but it still has a pretty okay, solid player. But you can, still touch upon things that you can't in the crew. That are just, you can have fun. Basically, what I'm saying is you can have fun playing Destiny alone, but in the crew, it's not really too much fun playing it without your crew. It brings a lot more to the game. Okay, you have Grand Theft Auto 5, which just came out a couple months ago, and that's already been done. It's higher graphics, sure, but we've played it before, so it's nothing new there. I played it. I played through the story. I'm done. I've leveled up my character online from a 168 to a 169. And I haven't really played it mostly because the heists aren't out yet. They won't be out till God knows when. Who knows? Tomorrow they could be out. You have Battlefield 4. That's a great game, but
great game.
It's Battlefield. You wanna hop on that. It's not like a good. I mean, it's got a good solid single player, but it's a year old. Most people have played through it. Right. Far Cry 4, great game. It's something about it. I mean, it's great, but it doesn't really grasp me, and as much as it does. I think there's there's tons of, and then it's just there's a lot of developers now that are harping on this whole community outreach thing, and it really is kind of the downfall of games right now. I'm a game collector. I have my collection. Those will be good for years and years to come. But looking back, I was thinking about this the other day. Looking back, I'm going to have my Xbox One, and 10 years from now, I'm going to want to play some game, or if somebody's like, hey, I want to buy an Xbox One and collect Xbox One games and be a collector, well, you're shit out of luck, because every game is so glitch-filled that you can't patch it because they've thrown offline. You can't play any of the games. You can't even update your system to play the games, and it's just one of these things that collecting is, in general, is going to go downhill, and the whole online community is just, everything is going to go online, and it's just going to continue this trend for the next 10 years, I'd say, and it's not a very good trend. Every game is online. Every game, pretty much.
I mean,
with
like,
the exception of
if they were smart, they would find a way to integrate, like, SkyDrive. You know, like, because with the PlayStation, I mean, you can essentially do that. You know, the Xbox One is kind of falling behind, and they're not doing that, and they need to integrate SkyDrive so that you can be able to, you know, like, download a game and have that motherfucker in storage, or, you know, you have something that allows you to play the game offline, like just a little downloadable key that says, hey, he purchased it, he can play it whenever the fuck he wants, you know, something like that.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, too, is that, that's, of course, this is I hate talking about it. I really hate this because it's going to bring... you know, I don't want to give them any fame about what they do, and I don't agree with it. It's not my thing. I don't really care much for it, but it pissed a lot of people off. Me personally, I just kind of went, whatever. I'm just gonna, you know, do my own thing. Christmas isn't ruined. I don't really care.
Right.
But you know, when Christmas went down, people that got their Xbox and PlayStation, they couldn't play online, and that's a big flaw. And in some ways, if what they say is, if the DDoSers and, you know, that Blizzard Squad, they if their intentions are really to show the flaws that are like this, I mean, it's not the way I would do it, but if it's really their kind of what they're trying to show these companies, then I think that's good. It's just not the way I would go about it personally. Yeah. But I do agree with that it's not the way to go with games. It shouldn't be online only. You should have the option to go online until there's a perfect system to where you can actually connect online and connect to wherever, whenever, maybe 5-10 years down the line when something is, you know, created where you don't actually have to use the internet. You can basically beam your system or to somebody other systems, and you can actually play like that without having to go through a connection that can be taken down. And I think that will be a lot better than what we have now. Honestly, I think it was a little bit rushed. And Destiny is one of those games that was another game that was just rushed out there, you know, and a lot of things weren't thought about before putting it out there. And I think that's its biggest weak point. But I do think that it also draws a lot of people to it, and that's great.
It does. You kind of made that point earlier when you were saying that, I mean, like, one of my biggest things when I first started playing Destiny was the fact that, you know, I'm over here playing my own story mode, shooting some people. I might get overwhelmed, especially at the beginning. And here comes some Randy Jacksons flying out of the air. They just start shooting them up, and then they just go on about they jumped on their little bikes and skirted out of there. You know, and like that was cool. Like, they're in my game, but they're not really interrupting me, you know. And then you have your points where you go off and nobody can fight. You know, you're in the respawn, the no respawn area.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that you got the darkness areas. That's a good idea. So nobody can interrupt your gameplay. They can't really interact with your specific mission. That's a cool idea. I like that. That other thing, when you're playing, and I've experienced this a lot, where, okay, say you're on a mission to, and this makes the grind even more difficult, is that if you're in a mission, and say, especially with recently, this has happened to me a lot recently, I've gotten missions from the Bane of Crota, and it's like, oh, kill 3 servants of Crota with the sword on Earth or the moon, and I would go down there, find them. I know where they spawn, no problem. But there'll be like 2-3 people waiting around there, and there's 2 different spawn points in that area, usually 2 or 3. And if I don't get to them, if I don't have a shot on that person, I can't get the kill. And it's good that they implemented a system where if you even shoot them, it counts as a kill towards you, which is cool. Or if you're kind of in the immediate area.
Right.
But if somebody beats you to the kill, you have to wait 20, 13, 14, 15 minutes until they respawn to get this thing that you've been working for. And, you know,
like
what happens when 15 minutes passes. And then they respawn. Yeah, well, like, and then you have to wait another half an hour or whatever to
I hated that
kill this one enemy.
goddamn
And
shit.
you just, really, come on.
Yeah, that pit
Like,
really pissed me off. The fact that I'm out here and you see everybody like jetpacking, trying to hurry up and get over there, and then it's some one asshole that's just camping back there with a fucking rocket, waiting to get that last shot.
You have to. It's one of those games that you have to. They wanted it to be a community-based game, and everybody work together and everybody be friendly. But then again, in turn, the gameplay style kind of forces you to be a dick.
It doesn't make any sense.
You do have to be that one person to get in. And there's always flaws in games. Like Grand Theft Auto is the same way. You kind of have to watch your own ass and stuff like that online. And even a lot of games they kind of force your hand with some things. You know, if you want to get far and if you want to get done soon, you have to be a dick. Otherwise, you're screwed.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done. I'm done. I'm done. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like that's the whole thing. They got it right with Halo. Multiplayer was great.
Very good. Very good.
Very
Still
good.
to this day,
Today's
it holds
standard,
up.
it does hold up really well till today. I mean, but
It's slow as fuck though.
it is slow, but it still holds up pretty well. I mean, comparatively, it's not the fast-paced action that you get from Call of Duty, but it is different. It is a different game.
It's still very.
I still appreciate it.
Yeah, like very intense though, like, you know, because the dude can see. But that was why Halo was so good. Was, you know, it's kind of like how Gears of War is. Everyone has neutral weapons. You start out, and you know, if you suck with the BR, you suck. You know, and you have to play as a team. If you got overwhelmed, you know, so Halo did a lot of things that were. That's why that is like the godfather of, you know, first person shooters for you know, consoles dating back to, you know, the original Xbox.
Yeah.
Like they
did a lot
of
hit
shit
it out
good.
of the park.
Yeah, and then of
do
course
a lot of shit
after a couple of failure games, I mean, I'm gonna say Call of Duty 2 was good. Fucking
Modern Warfare 2 or
Call of Duty 2. I'm then going back.
Okay.
Then
Going
fucking
back,
Atari fucked over Call of Duty 3. That was the worst piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't even say that exists out there. And then Call of Duty 4.
Activision.
Or it was one of those fucks. Oh my God damn it.
Just making sure. I know you meant Activision.
And so, like, Call of Duty 4, I still remember the like the trailers and shit. Like, they were on what was that one map, the fucking gray buildings and everything. It was really small. Vacant. And everybody's like running around.
Vacant.
And they show like when they show like this explosion and the guy like fucking, you know, his arm shot back and he's like, and he running and shit. Like, that was the coolest shit in the world, man. And
that was really brought me that game alone. I would say that the World at War was the game, like, hands down the game that brought me into online gaming, period. Like, I played SOCOM and SOCOM 3 and stuff back in the game, back in the day, but that game really had something special with how they did things, and it was awesome.
Dismemberment. Why can it dismemberment? Why can they not put that back? Give it back to us.
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 Don't take it away.
No. Give it to us immediately.
Give it to us.
That was so awesome, like watching somebody They taking off running like you shooting at them. Do. They run around the corner, and then you got Bouncing Betty around the corner, and their fucking legs just come blowing on the other side of the room. Yeah.
The immediate kill cam, how it goes back, it just it goes off your body, and you're looking at yourself in pieces, just pull.
Oh my god!
It's wow.
That was god.
The thing that annoys me though about that conversation though, is that nobody agrees with me.
Man, fuck it. You know what?
We're the only ones that like that game out of everybody that we know.
To shut the fuck up. That's not true, dude. Like,
it's a fucking awesome.
Everybody
had
tanks online. Tanks.
And it wasn't like the Battlefield tanks where it took like 20 shots to kill. It was like, you could sit in the back, couple shots, boom, tank's done.
And it's not overpowered.
Respawn.
Guess what?
Not a big
Mr. Tank,
map.
meet my Panzerfaust. Blue.
Meet my Panzerfaust.
Like,
my Panzerfaust.
And then when you shot them with the tank and just watch their fucking bodies just, oh my god, dude. Like,
it
that
makes
game
me
was
want to
great.
play that game.
Like, I
actually tried to play that game.
No, and then you brought up the best point in the world the other day when you were like, who the fuck had co-op in their fucking... Yes, World at War co-op. Don't know how they fucking managed to like string that together, bro, but it was just like...
It was
that was good, yeah.
And every Call of Duty since
it was
then
the hardest
completely
fucking
fucked
Call
it up.
of Duty.
And it was like it was literally perfect co-op. Co-op, how everybody wants co-op is that you're playing through the story and you're playing with somebody else. You're watching the cutscenes. You're killing the same people that you would in single player, and you're doing it with your friend. It's just like
full
split screen,
co-op.
but here it's not some bullshit.
Some side mission
let's
bullshit.
Have single player
Spec Ops,
and then Modern Warfare's 2 Spec Ops mode and all that crap. It was okay.
It was fun.
But it
was fun.
It was fun, but it's not the same thing. It's not that hard to drop an extra character into a game and just say, okay, both of you, go. Shoot people. Go.
Dude, that's why Modern Warfare 3 was fucking amazing. Their Spec Ops were good. Those were good. Like, I think that they were fucking around trying to do something different. Like, every Call of Duty, you have to at least give them... Like, you're gonna have the haters out there or whatever, and... I'm going to say not up until, recently they really started evolving the game. But if you think about it, the Call of Duty, I'm not talking about Treyarch and their wonderful products, goddammit, because they make wonderful products, period. They're just awesome. They're just great. The only problem that I've ever had with Black Ops 2 was the hit markers. Like that,
the hit markers.
That was it. That goes on record right there.
I told you that I literally got the game, rented it out from work, brought it home, played it, and a sniper got me, and I was 20 feet away, and for some reason I don't understand how he got me. I was 20 feet away from the area that he shot, and he still got me, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm
returning.
Bye-bye.
I'm done. I'm not. I don't want to have 5 days of frustration until I got to return this thing. I'd rather go rent out a different game where I'm not gonna yell at my TV for 5 days straight.
and openly admitting right here too that on top of that was when the madness of Call of Duty ended for me for a long time. I never purchased Black Ops was the last Call of Duty. Well, Black Ops and Modern Warfare. Did I? Hold on, wait a minute. I didn't purchase Modern Warfare 3 either. Never mind. So I'm gonna say it stopped with Black Ops 1, and my cousin had ended up getting 2 copies of the game, and he gave me one of them, and it just sat there and rotted for a long time, and then finally we got into it. We played it. We met some youngins on there. Me and Jordan did, and that's when we ended up shaking off and having this solid clan, and it was real fun to run shop with, you know, people on that game and kill people. That's when they really started doing the clan stuff. So I'll give Black Ops 2 that props. But to me, Modern Warfare 3, they it's like they took a lot of the good that was out of Modern Warfare 2 and they pulled it over. And then at the same time, they kind of retweaked and did some things that were different. Like, there weren't, with the exception of like the MK14 or whatever, you couldn't really get like a two bullet kill, you know, like the TAR. You walk up to somebody and go pop pop and they die. You know, you can do it with just the marksman rifles. And I feel like they really kind of came into form with how you did the classes. You purchase them, you get all this stuff or whatever like that, and then you move on forward and you have Call of Duty Ghosts. So it's like this evolution of how they keep tinkering with the game. And see, Ghost for me was my hardest transition because it just, oh my, that game just, love-hate relationship with that one. And then we move on to Advanced Warfare. Now, every iteration of it has been, with the exception of Modern Warfare 2 and 3, have been, you know, very different departures from where it come from Call of Duty 4, you know. And I think that the more that they do like this one, the more they come up with these concepts of how to have this game, but not to have the same game that's out there, because nobody can say that this is the same Call of Duty that has been going on for years, because you can't play it that way. If that was the case, then, you know, people would reject this game, but you can't play this the same. That the fucking exosuit changes everything about this game. And you have some people that go back and they just play regular, you know, they don't want no exosuits, and that's fine. But, you know, for those who appreciate the evolution of Call of Duty, I think that this one is it's good. And does it have its flaws? Hell yeah. Like every fucking one out there has, like, the hit markers can get frustrating. You know, one of the things that I've never understood in Call of Duty is when you see a guy, you line your shot up, pop, pop, you done put 2 rounds in him. Maybe the first round only gave you a fucking hit marker. The second one didn't even count. Then he just turned around and you're dead. I want that explained. Like, how the fuck can you let that exist in your game for so many years? Like, that is one of the most frustrating things. And there's probably some Randy Jackson out there that got fucking 0 and 3 and shit, and he's trying to get his first kill. You're on your way to some fucking big kill streak and you get killed by this asshole. They have to fix that, and they need to get the dedicated servers fully functioning on this fucking game, because I guarantee that would end a lot of the issues and the problems that they fucking have. We'll say that the score streaks in this one, they really are, they don't even matter. Like, the only thing that really matters in the score streaks for the most part would be a UAV. And I forgot who I was watching. I was watching some guy on YouTube, and you know, he played like a series of 10 matches or something along those lines, and he came up with the dynamics. You know, did he win if he used UAV versus if he did not use UAV? And of course, you know, his team got more kills, and his Randy Jackson's went more positive whenever he had the UAV. So that's one score streak I do approve of, but the rest of them they're pretty worthless. There's no point in you having anything in the air, because they really don't do anything unless you can get a what do you call it, a control paladin or something, you know, or a warbird or some shit. Anthony's controller cut off. All right, well, Anthony is having some serious Xbox controller problems over here. His controller died and his mic's all going to shit. And then I took a look, and it looks like we're running down to the last 20 seconds. So we appreciate anyone who supports us. Thank you for listening. Villain Radio Nation. Subscribe to our YouTubes, 00 Death Clock, and Kane Adam, KANEATOM. ZZZ for my snooze station.